Recognizing and preventing men's health problems is not just a man's issue because of its impact on our wives, mothers, daughters, and sisters. Men's health is truly a family issue. These are the words of American Congressman Bill Richardson. With these lines, I gladly welcome you to today's edition of Better You Today. My name is Yetunde Jayola. Benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, is our focus on this episode. In layman's language, we mean prostate enlargement. Yes, prostate enlargement. We have a mini documentary as well as a doctor in the house to provide insights and valuable information aimed at improving and adding value to our wellness and well-being. We will go on a short break. Please stay tuned.
Prostate enlargement is so common with the people of the age of above 40. So when you want to reach the age of above 40, you see that they begin to feel the symptoms of prostate enlargement. And just like you see women, the common things with women you call fibroid. So also the similarity of that to men is prostate enlargement.
There is a disease, and I believe that I've not heard anything about it. But it will be more better if you can get an expert to explain more to the public what this disease is all about and what causes it and how it can be resolved so that people won't get contaminated and can affect a lot.
Prostate enlargement is more common in the country than it is talked about. Now, I believe there are a lot of people with it, though there's not much awareness about it. But I believe the government should invest in sensitizing the general public and creating awareness. And I believe early detection of the prostate enlargement can help in solving it and managing it.
Formerly, in the olden time, you do not have these kinds of disease, but it's so common today. Why? Because of lack of maintenance and not awareness of all these things. That is why it causes all those things that this disease becomes so common in our society today. Depending on all these chemicals food also do what we consume is also now eligible to cause these kinds of sickness in our society. So at least awareness should be created so that these kinds of things should be eliminated in the society.
Hope you find the responses interesting. In the words of LeBron James, the strongest men are those who seek help, support, and understanding when they need it. Do visit any healthcare facility whenever you notice anything strange in your system. It's now time for a mini documentary. Do stay glued and don't go anywhere.
According to experts, benign prostatic hyperplasia (BPH) is a male focal condition with an 8 to 10% prevalence in men who are 40 years of age and older. This increases to more than 90% in men over 90 years. The absolute burden of BPH is rising at an alarming rate in most parts of the world, especially in low and middle-income countries that are currently undergoing rapid demographic and epidemiological changes. There are some evidence to suggest the prevalence varies by race and ethnicity. An evaluation of patients with BPH in the California medical program indicated that African American men were far less likely to be treated medically, as 28.6%, during the first year of diagnosis when compared to other races. This rate is 53.5% among Asians, 44% among whites, and 43.5% among Hispanics. Men of Scandinavian heritage were at slightly decreased rates of symptoms than those of other white heritages. Addressing the burden of aging-related diseases such as benign prostatic hyperplasia has become one of the top global health priorities. As the disease imposes a sustainable health burden, evidence-based prevention of BPH is limited. Disabilities and complications related to BPH can be mitigated. There are several medical and surgical therapy options to reduce disability due to benign prostatic hyperplasia. Patients are advised to visit the hospital and consult medical professionals as early and timely diagnosis is germane to proper management and treatment of the disease. The burden of BPH is rising throughout the world, primarily due to population growth and aging.
We value your decision to spend your precious time watching our program. It's now time to meet our resource person, Dr. Charles Azubike Omezi. He dissects the topic benign prostatic hyperplasia, that is, prostate enlargement. Thanks for staying tuned.
Benign prostatic hyperplasia or hypertrophy, shortened as BPH, is usually occurs in men who are above 40 years of age. It is an organ found among males. The usual weight is about 20 grams. It helps in the process of semen production. So when that prostate starts after the age of 40, due to our health habits, our dietary habits, our lifestyles, it's observed that above the age of 40, that prostate starts to enlarge. It starts growing on its own, mainly maybe due to hormonal causes, but it starts growing and it disturbs the way men urinate. It changes the urinary habit in a man. So when it grows that way, it disturbs, it causes different symptoms. It may be retention, it may be hesitancy. It changes the way you used to urinate as a man. BPH is not caused by any microorganism. It comes as a natural, as long as every male grows old, is that organ in the body, in the male, that there is more exponential growth after one has attained the age of 40. So you see, the older a man gets, the more prone he's going to be. That means somebody who is 40, you get to 50, you get to 70, you get to 90. It's as if there is no escape, but it can be managed. It can be managed. And the best form of managing a BPH is by surgery. And the gold standard is what we call a transurethral resection of the prostate. is laser technology using resecting the prostate, making the whole process as bloodless as possible. The formerly or in other areas, people do surgical prostatectomy where you need a lot of blood, you need to irrigate, it takes a longer process of healing. So what we call transurethral resection with laser technology is the gold standard of managing BPH now, especially in older men who have to undergo that procedure. A lot of things go on in our bodies without us knowing. We grow, we don't feel that we are growing, but a lot of things happen, a lot of body processes, metabolism, a lot of things go on in the body, but we should be health conscious, especially when we are above 40. Go for checks. If you find out that there are changes in your urinary pattern, the way you urinate is you are not completing your urination, you feel you are pushing but it's not coming out, you don't feel complete. Maybe when you feel you've ended, you now feel urine dripping out. Those are small signs. Because of this, a lot of our daddies, when they complain that I cannot urinate, it's not a time to go to a traditional or take any concussion. It's a time to present to the accident and emergency and see a consultant, see a specialist, a urologist that will take care of that situation at that point in time. But you see, in our society, when Baba is complaining of, I can't go to the toilet, I can't pee, I'm trying to pee, I can't pee, we think of a chemist, we think of a traditional practitioner. When Baba complains, it is best you take Baba to the emergency to be well taken care of. There are associating factors that predispose to having BPH in the first place. When people do things beyond moderation, you are exposed to alcohol, you are exposed to cigarette smoking, you are exposed to a lot of red meat, it predisposes one to having BPH. Now, after the surgery, usual post-surgical procedures are carried out to manage the patient back to health. And once the prostate is resected, then the man lives his normal life. Well, there's Kegel's exercise that helps the pelvic muscles generally. But the truth is, when a man is predisposed to sitting a long time, the pelvic area can have a lot of heat. Somebody like who is a tailor, who works as a tailor, who is a bus driver that sits for a long time, we should try and avoid sitting for a long time in our activities. Avoid wearing tights as underwear. It's better as a male you wear your boxers, where there is maintenance of body temperature around a man's groin. We as men, especially men above 40, we should try to live life of moderation. If you used to eat a lot of meat, cut off on a lot of red meat. Start eating fish, live healthy. Be more health conscious of what you eat, what you take in, what you drink. We will live the best of a healthy life.
Glad to know that you are still glued to your screen. But before we say our goodbyes, here are some tips that will support our men in preventing and managing benign prostatic hyperplasia, that is prostate enlargement.
Useful tips for preventing, mitigating, and managing benign prostatic hyperplasia. Here are some tips to help to prevent and manage BPH. Be careful with fluids. It is essential to keep note of the beverages that make you urinate often and steer clear of them. Alcohol and coffee are usually tops on the offender's list. Cutting down on them can bring some peace to your life. Incorporate a prostate-friendly diet. Adopt and adapt to the intake of various safe products, fruits, vegetables, and green tea. Additionally, eating foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as cold water fish or supplements, are of utmost importance. Urinate when needed. Since BPH causes the inability to empty your bladder fully, you constantly feel the urge to urinate. When you are out and about, take the chance to use the restroom when you encounter one. Even if you feel like you don't need to urinate, make a schedule to do so every few hours, especially before you leave the house or go to bed. Pay attention to the medications you take. Keep note of the medications you are taking because a few over-the-counter allergies and flu medicines can lead to BPH symptoms getting worse. Consult your doctors on the gritty details of BPH's interaction with other drugs and the safest way to balance medication for your health issues. Undertake bladder muscle exercises. One way of controlling the symptoms of BPH is to strengthen the bladder neck with the help of Kegel exercises and other exercises that focus on the pelvic floor. Reduce stress. Constant stress and anxiety worsen the symptoms of BPH. Exercising daily is great for both reducing BPH symptoms and stress. Drink water in small quantities. One of the best ways to deal with an enlarged prostate is to slow down and consume water in increments. Little amounts of water divided into equal intervals is more beneficial than just cupping large water glasses in one go. Avoid consuming liquids up to 3 hours before bed.
According to Phil Jackson, to excel, you need to act with a clear mind and be totally focused. The secret is not thinking. This is where we will be drawing the curtains on today's edition of Better You Today. Kindly visit our YouTube page displayed on your screen to view this and previous episodes of the program. Do join us next time on this same channel for another interesting edition. My name is Yetunde Jayola. Asking for help isn't weak. It's a way to become even stronger. Bye for now.